Hey guys, welcome to the Spoils TCG tutorial put on by Team Covenant, which is basically a group of people who I am one of them, which shouldn't be a surprise, but it's a group of people that we basically want good games to do well. So what we have done is essentially gone on a quest to find the best games and support them in whatever way we can. And the very first game that we found when we were on this mission was a little game called the Spoils TCG, and so this is the game that started it all for us. This is the very first thing that we fell in love with, and you're in for a treat because this is truly the best card game I've ever played, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. The rule system, the flavor is it's everything that you could want from a card game. So. That's who we are, and that's what we're doing here, and that's the game that you're about to learn how to play. So get excited. This is a big step in your gaming life. So the Spoils, what it is a tournament card game. And what that means is you have cards, and you're using these cards to accomplish objectives and to try to win the game. So the game-playing pieces, some games have miniatures, some have a controller, and you're controlling somebody on a video screen. This game is all about the cards. So the tokens, the pieces of this game are the cards, and each card is going to have an impact on what happens during the game. Just imagine that most of us are familiar with poker or some kind of card game like that, and there's one deck that everybody shares, and I would pass out cards to my opponent, and then we would use those cards to try to gain the advantage and to try to win the pot, if you will. In this game, rather than us sharing a deck, my opponent and I are actually going to build our own decks, and so rather than me, passing out cards to other people and myself, I'm only going to draw and pass out cards to myself. And my opponent is going to do the same thing. So we have our own decks, and those decks can include the cards that we want to bring. So there's a lot of options, and we're going to customize our decks. We're going to draw from our decks. We're going to use every card in our deck. It's like our toolbox for the entire game. So everything that we bring is going to be brought in order to help us win, accomplish the objective of the game. And so that's basically what a tournament card game is, a competitive card game is, and that's what the Spoils is. It's a very exhilarating way of playing a game. It's a really fun, easy thing to pick up, and it's really convenient because rather than having to haul around a bunch of stuff, all you need is your deck. All you need is your cards, and you're good to go. That deck that you bring, it needs to be 75 cards. So this is the bare minimum that you need to play. You need a 75-card deck with one faction card, which we'll get into later. It kind of explains how the game works for you. You'll also need something to keep track of the score of the game. So that can be anything that you can write on and anything that you can write with. Well, not anything. I can think of a few exceptions to that. But maybe a piece of paper and a pen is the most common example. And so you'll have that, and you can keep track of the score. And then on top of that, some cards call for tokens. And a token doesn't have to be anything special in this game. It can be just a penny. It can be a quarter. It can be a piece of your shirt that you rip off. It can be a piece of the paper that you sprinkle on there. Doesn't matter. It can be whatever you want. So some cards do call for tokens, and that's not a big deal. You can get the lint out of your pocket if you need to. So we have those things. Those are really the only things you need to play. And now, after that, I want to explain why you're going to want to play this game. And what that means is the flavor. What these cards are and the universe that you're getting thrown into whenever you pick up the Spoils TCG. Alright, so the 5 trades. The 5 trades basically tell you what kind of a card you're going to get. The cards break out into 5 different trades, and that's 5 different ways to play the game almost. It's 5 different philosophies on how to win. That's what the 5 trades are. The first trade is Arcanist, and that philosophy entails a lot of darkness, a lot of blackness, kind of like, those disgusting creatures and zombie kind of stuff. And that's what the Arcanists specialize in. And then you have the Bankers, and the Bankers are what you would expect Bankers to be. Well, you wouldn't expect them to be a race of cats called the Mao. Which more than most of the time they are. That's kind of their central race. But what they are is all about amassing wealth. And so the Banker's philosophy is, I'm going to get way more stuff than you, and I'm going to keep you down while I do it. And then at the end of the game, I'm going to have so much stuff that you can't beat me. And then you have the Gearsmith trade. And the Gearsmith philosophy is, I'm going to be very quick, very efficient, and I'm going to flood the board with little robots and machines, and elves also are in there. But not like Tolkien elves. We're talking like Leet Speak elves, which is quite a shift from the normal elf idea. And then you have the Rogues, and the Rogue trade is all about stealing stuff. Their philosophy is, I don't care what you play, because I'm just going to take it and use it for my own. And they're very effective at doing that. And then finally you have the Warlord trade. And the Warlord philosophy is, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but whatever happens, I'm going to use my strength to destroy you. So that's the Warlord trade. And those 5 trades make up the breakdown of cards in the game. So every card will belong to a certain trade. And that will kind of give you an idea of what that card is good at doing. And you can choose to specialize in your favorite trade. So if I love, monstrosities, I'm going to play an Arcanist deck. If I love robots and lead-speaking elves, I'm going to play a Gearsmith deck. And so that's where we get into this customization, and it really gets amazing, the options that you have. All right, so since we have the trades sorted out, we kind of have an introduction to what the tournament card game is. Why not just dive into what the game looks like, what the cards are, and what they do?